Hi guys, welcome back to the another video in the textile space. So in this video, we will be covering a few other companies in the yarn and fabric space. Okay, so we will cover Shanti Spintex, Filatex India Limited, and Sportking India Limited. So we will be covering these three companies. Okay, now when you look at the yarn and fabric space, now I believe like the entire environment, when you look at it, they're crying, the demand is not that great. It's a very common commentary that you see forth. But I believe this one company, Shanti Spintex, is completely different than everybody else in this space. Like, I do not know what they're doing. Like, why is that? Their numbers, when you compare their numbers to any other numbers in the same peer group, it's like North and South Pole apart. The commentary is different. I do not know what these people are doing right, in fact. So, but let us understand कि like Shanti Spintex क्या कर रहा है and how has the numbers been. Okay, Shanti Spintex hails from Gujarat. एक very छोटू सा company है, गुजरात से है. Okay, and it is a family owned business, from generations. Again, I do not know what is it with this Gujaratis. They have this very strong knit bond with their family. It's very very nice and very heartwarming to see, especially in today's day and age, right? And every time I see now, whenever I see these kind of companies which is like a family owned, generation to generation pass hota hai, right? And especially if they are Gujarat based, what I've seen is like they are more concentrated in, like, rather than just going for growth. Like, there are many companies that go into growth and they forget the bottom line. But when they hail from this part of India, they are more concerned with their profits. They need growth, but they also want profit. It's like munafa is everything. If I don't get my munafa, I'll compromise on my growth. It's like that. Okay, so let me know if any of you are Gujaratis, like, what's your secret sauce. But anyways, coming to Shanti Spintex, if you look at this company, these people manufacture denim. Denim का मतलब आपका jeans का कपड़ा. The kapda through which you make your jeans is called as denim kapda. Okay, now over here, how do they manufacture denim? So first of all, यहाँ पे they're only making the fabric out of that yarn. They're not making the yarn. So we saw that in Nitin Spinners and Vardhaman Textiles, they take the raw material cotton and then they convert the cotton to yarn. Okay, but here they don't manufacture yarn. In fact, they get yarn from some other company. Once they get the yarn, because see, the yarn ka color is different, right? मतलब एक white color हो सकते हैं, different color. To get the desired color of your denim, because you would see ना denim में भी, अगर आपका jeans में देखते हो, jeans में भी इतना सारा color है ना, आपका blue में ही like 10 shades of blue है, dark blue, light blue, washed blue and all. So obviously you have to get the desired color. ये क्या करते हैं, उनका ये yarn लेते हैं and after that they give it to this dyeing station. ये outsource करते हैं dyeing को. So somebody else dyes for them, then they collect it and then the yarn they put it into the machine to make a fabric. Okay, वो धागा जो होता है, they convert that धागा into a fabric material. ठीक है, इतना समझ में आ गया business, right? That is all that they do, and they sell this fabric to all the jeans company that is there. Yeah, whoever company who's manufacturing this fabric, this denim ka fabric into a wearable jeans, they sell it to them. That is their customers. ठीक है, so ये business आपको समझ में आ गया, right? So if you look at them, यहाँ पे again like I told you, इनका अगर आप sales देखते हो, sales if you look at it, 78% of the sale comes from making denim fabric. Okay, which means what, आपका जो the final इनका end material जो है, fabric जो है, that is where it comes, and the rest 21 to 22% comes from yarn. Now obviously I told you na, they actually outsource. I mean, they get the yarn from somebody and then they dye it for outsourcing. Now some company would want to make their own fabric. They want to have a complete control, right? So they sell this yarns जो है, जो different color का वो लोग बनाते हैं. That is what they sell. Okay, then other than that, if you look at it, over the years what we've seen is उनका जो एक ये बहुत छोटू सा company, and like I told you, छोटू सा company है, family owned company, Gujarat से आ रहा है, right? Everything. So these people in the 2021 2020, in that time they had 70% of the revenue coming from the top 10 customers. Now going forward, as of this Q2, if you see, 100% of the revenue is coming from the top 10 customers, right? So there are only 10 customers and these people are contributing the 100% of the revenue. This is both a boon and a bane. Boon because of course you have a good relationship with the customer, and that is why they must have increased the order over and over again with you and booked your capacity, and that is why we've seen that the top 10 customers has gone from 78 to 100. It really speaks about the company ka trust and integrity. On the other hand, let's say one of the customers is not willing to like continue the deal, continue with the company, it can also cause a lot of havoc in your financials also. ठीक है, and in लोगों का in plant में there are around 19.2 million capacity है, and if you look at the numbers na, sales has grown by 119% year on year, and this is not the first time actually I've seen. If you look at their journey, they were a very small company, and they went from that, from a very small company to 100 crores. And then I think in a span of 1 year or 2 year, I think post COVID, they went from 100 to 200 crores. Then they got listed. Then they went to a 500 crore kind of company, and now they're targeting, slowly, 1000 crore kaise kare. So this is, I'll tell you, this is the only company I think in the entire yarn and fabric space that sparked my interest, क्योंकि like numbers has been fantastic. अगर आप PBT देखते हो, profit before tax is up by 30.4%. Why am I taking PBT is because अगर आप PAT में देखते हो, the last time PAT, the PAT of last Q2 में, there is an exceptional item over here, which is because of which if you look at the PAT, you might see like, PAT is insignificant. Yeah, there is no growth in PAT at all. But if you go forward and look, the other reason also why you will see कि like यहाँ पे PBT जो है, you might see कि like why did it hardly grow by 30.4% over, let's say, the other time. Yeah, why did it grow by 30.4% is because when you look at the entire industry, in the textile industry, यहाँ पे first of all, like I told you, it is a B2B space, right? Because whom are they getting their supply from a yarn guy, right? You have to pay upfront for you to get your yarn. On the other hand, over here, whenever you have to get the especially when you get this raw materials, yarn and all, you're getting it from China, okay? And here there is so much, you have to make the payment, get the customs cleared and everything. So there's a lot of headache over there. When it comes to receiving your payment, how payment happens over here, they have the largest working capital, because payment होता है either in 60 to 90 days. For some companies, payment होता है once in quarter, okay? Why? I'm not lying about this, I'm not kidding about this, like, I mean, what am I going to get by lying, right? मेरा बाप का company थोड़ी है. But having said that, this, it's a a lot of headache over here in getting your payment. So since the working capital days are so long, so in spite of you might have clocked your sale, you might have done the sale, but you might not have cashed on it. It might take for you to 90 days for you to get the cash on it. So that is why you can't recognize also in your bottom line. That is why you see like, PBT is around has just grown by 30.4%. ठीक है. इनका अगर आप देखते हो capacity utilization, like I told you, it is at 19.2 million meters. Like that is how much they can do, or the capacity है. Already यहाँ पे 89 to 90% का capacity utilization is done. So now hardly there is few percentage points of what they can get, they increase the capacity. But there is no the problem over here, although the company is really good. In fact, they're the best company in the entire yarn and fabric space, good set of numbers, consistently grow kara and everything. There is a lack of information over here, because all the information that I could get is like an amalgamation of a lot of things, okay? Like a annual report, PPT, that and this, wherever I could find their interviews and press release and everything. So going forward, there is a bit of ambiguity, a bit of question mark as to like आगे जाके whether ये growth continue होगा. And already we know यहाँ पे 89% का capacity utilization है. So are we going to see another capex coming forward? कुछ capex हो रहा है, so that we can see कि like आगे जाके there is a visibility, if there is a demand, you can cater to that demand, increase your volume growth क्या है and everything. So that becomes a question mark over here, although it is a very good company. The second one we will be doing is Filatex India Limited. ये Filatex जो है, unlike the other we've seen, they are into manufacturing various kinds of fabric and yarn, especially cotton का yarn. Filatex का speciality है, these people are mainly into polyester clothes. I mean polyester clothes मतलब ये polyester का yarn बनाना, फिर इस yarn को लेके polyester का different fabric बनाना. Because as you know, polyester में there are 100 के 1000 different varieties. Okay, like for example, you can have 80% polyester and 20% cotton, or you can have आपका gym का clothes जो होते हैं वो dry fit का material. Even that is also a bit of a that is also a mix of polyester and some elastane बोल के है. So these people work in that entire polyester का chain that is there. Okay, now here if you look at it, these people also they have their उनका यहाँ पे, I would say this is a bit least interesting in out of the entire space. If you look at it, I'll tell you why. So first of all, let's go through the number. Sales that is there, sales was flat, and PAT that is there, PAT fell by 58% on a year-on-year basis. And उनका जो production is basically a volume growth on a half yearly basis fell 6.3%, and on a year-on-year basis fell by 8.8%. So now you understand why it is so uninteresting over here. Now यहाँ पे इतना क्यों हो रहा है, like what is the reason over here कि like why are they facing so much brand? Because if you look at other players, although there is so much problem for them, there is so much demand ka situation is not that great, they are at least able to grow their sale by a few single digits or at least on a higher single digit. Like for example, Nitin Spinner आपने देखा at least 11% का growth कर रहा था, versus let's say other people are in the low single digit. But यहाँ तो sales तो degrow हुआ है, या आप बोल सकते हो sales is flat यहाँ पे. So why is that case? is because पहला तो उनका एक plant था, उनका एक plant है दहेज, यहाँ पे तो पहले 4 days का maintenance था. Other than that, if you look, there has been all of their other plants that are there. Okay, वहाँ पे either power failure, shutdowns हो रहा था, a lot of these other problems were there. Combine everything along with that Bangladesh का जो problem चल रहा है, everything really affected them overall. Okay, and आगे जाके इनका भी same है कि like there is no visibility of anything. Okay, at least Shanti Spintex का growth is good, everything is there. At least you do not know. For there it is like today is good, but you do not know tomorrow आगे जाने क्या होने वाले. You have to be very सतर्क. You have to keep tracking the numbers over there. You have to look at the numbers and make a decision. Okay, you do not know कल जाके अगर sales growth is just grew by 15%. You do not know वहाँ पे if it is just for a quarter, maybe something they have not been able to ship. That is the kind of problem you face in Shanti Spintex. But यहाँ पे Filatex में even the today is not good and आगे जाके आगे का भी visibility अच्छा नहीं दिख रहा है. Other than that, if you look at it, right, other than that, there is another big problem that they are facing is because, as you know, polyester is that one kind of material, let's say cotton and all is at least okay because it's natural, it is recyclable now. But agar a polyester, because it's mixed with a lot of things, it's like a chemically produced kind of fabric over here na, polyester. And you will hear also many people telling like a polyester ka kapde mat pehno, it is a hormone disruptor, endocrine disruptor hai, and there has been so many studies found also. Now what has happened is in Europe and in the Northern America, what they've done is, all this polyester ka cloth and all, because this polyester ka cloth na, they give a lot of influence to fast fashion, right? Because of which fast fashion की वजह से आपको मालूम है कितना problem आता है. There is so much problem. So what they have done is like in these two countries that if they put a ban and import के like polyester का कपड़ा if you're using, that has to be made out of this recycling material. So all of these bans are taking shape place. They're becoming stricter and stricter. The companies that are outsourcing these fabrics, outsourcing these yarns, are becoming stricter with the R&D and how you're recycling and all of this. So with this also what is happening is, one, there is a problem with adoption कि like adaptability का कोई problem आ रहा है in the sense कि like going forward probably the business that you have might not be as sustainable, right? Because let's say if I am a company and I'm providing this R&D and this research solutions and I'm using my recyclable clothes in order to produce all this yarn and fabric versus let's say who's actually making polyester yarn, the companies would probably choose me over this company, right? Because then I can show in my ESG का report पे मेरा company में I can tell कि like look, I am sourcing ethically environmental friendly polyester and all. So you get this game, right? So that is another problem they are facing कि like the adaptation to all this new kind of materials, it again, along with already demand itna अच्छा नहीं है and everything, along with this problem is coming with their own products. This becomes a big question mark as to like कि like आगे जाके what could be the future. Okay, other than that, if you see all of this company is doing another, because again like I told you, most people are running at full capacity, most of them at 80 to 95% capacity they are running, and Filatex is also no new to this. So these people are also they're in talks, again not they're in talks to add more capex. They've already procured a land and they're starting a greenfield project, and this will commence in Q1FY26. Okay, and it will add a capacity of 26,500 kind of capacities per annum, tons per annum they will add. So again over here, this is the same thing like Vardhaman Textiles ke, like when you see that there is so much problem, demand ka visibility nahi hai, it, although the capex is happening, it really begs the question as like will this capex even be fruitful going forward in the future, right? That is a big question mark, because having said that, let's say the demand continues to be the way it is, where it is not doing well, we are having a lot of problems in terms of demand, and you put up a capex and tomorrow you might not get the order, then what? First of all, when you're doing all this capex, aapka depreciation cost is upfront, all your cost is upfront, and on top of that, if you're not going to get an order and going to do this, it really can even worsen the situation than what it is today. Okay, so that's it about Filatex. The next company we will be doing is Sportking India. Okay, now Sportking India, again same, manufactures yarn. They don't do any kind of fabric, they do only yarns. Okay, now yarns also, when you talk about it, what kind of yarns? Like I told, there are different kinds of yarn, right? Like if you saw in Filatex, they make only polyester yarns. यहाँ पे if you look at Sportking India, they do everything. They do cotton, polyester, acrylic, आपका dyed yarn जो है, let's say if you have a polyester yarn, you can provide like 100 different colors of polyester yarn, right? Dyeing का भी ये करते हैं. So everything, different kinds of yarn that is there, these people do. Okay, इनका अगर geographical bifurcation if you see that domestic is contributing 45 and the rest is by export, 54 to 55% comes from export. Okay, and these people have 3 manufacturing unit, and all of the 3 manufacturing unit is running at 95% capacity utilization. Okay, and over here, if you look at them, again the same thing over here, sales is up by 3.7 percentage, but PAT is up by a whooping 68.8 percentage. Can you believe 68.8 percentage? And EBITDA also, the margins, if you look at it, has improved by 6.1% versus 8.3. Now you might wonder, like, how has the sales been? Like hardly anything, flat only, you can tell, and the PAT that is there has grown by so much. Again, it goes over here. What has happened? उनका जो electricity cost है उसमें उन्होंने बचाया. Employee cost, if you see, employee cost is flat. Now you tell me one thing, if you see a demand is there, आपका इतना demand है, आपका order book आ रहा है, obviously you will need, this is an industry जहाँ पे अगर आपका order book ज़्यादा हो रहा है, then you would need more people to work, which means what, you would need more employees, more machines and everything. Now how, let's say one tailor is there, how long will that one tailor, how many pieces can he work on, how many, let's say the capacity that is at 95% already है, ठीक है? So how much more the machine can work on? It can't work, be running at 24 hours also. So obviously you will spend more in employee cost and everything, but here employee cost is flat. Now you tell me, if there is demand, you would obviously hire people now. So this is also another way. Every time you see that somebody is telling demand hai, capacity बढ़ा रहा है and everything, you also have to go easy way. आप कर सकते हो कि like just check for employee benefit expense, at least that has to grow by a few basis points at least, that just shows you, because unless it is an IT, because you can have like more efficiency with the same kind of same kind of people, आपका technology is faster, right? But this is not that kind of an industry. So यहाँ पे and obviously low raw material का cost के वजह से all of this you're seeing such a big operating leverage. Now, and if you look at them, this is one of that company, Sportking India, that has been really suffering because of Bangladesh, because this Bangladesh के वजह से all that turmoil that had happened, their plants and all their customers का plants were shut down. Not their plant, sorry, but the customers ka plant to whom they were supplying these yarns. Now they were shut down for like 7 to 10 days. Okay, that is one problem. And other than that, if you see, there has been a social unrest over there, and people, some plants have been permanently closed, some plants were shut down, and now they're ramping up the production. So because of this, they've lost a lot on sale. Okay, and yeah, and they continue to tell like, and और एक चीज है यहाँ पे is like इनका जो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा, like I told, export is 55%. इस portion से ज़्यादा is coming from Bangladesh only, right? A lot of it is coming from Bangladesh, and that is why their impact is severe over here. And again, over here also the same thing. The visibility, the demand looks very meek, and you do not see any kind of positive notes from the con call, or from the management commentary, you can tell. Okay, so overall, like I told you, this entire fabric and yarn ka business, although we are seeing the entire textile space boom, the fabric and the yarn business is not really doing that well, because most of them have exposure to Bangladesh, where all of your customers who are working in Bangladesh have either, some people have closed down on the mills, or some people are not reluctant in taking that much of an order. And the other thing is, of course, with the unrest that has happened, there has been a lot of shutdown days. So yeah, other than that, there are some few companies, I'll just name this, like Trident Limited, Sutlej, KPR Mills, Sangam India, Alok Industries, Century Textiles, Indorama Synthetics. I've read about these companies, but I'm not going to make a video, because again, there is nothing to make a video on this. Okay, I'm telling you, like when I read on Twitter, when I read on X, like everybody were talking about this textile space, and I was like, and they were talking that the entire value chain in the textile is booming, right? And I was like, okay, let's just look at it, like is it really the thing? Because the numbers were meek, because sometimes what happens is the numbers can be meek in this quarter, but the management commentary is bullish, because going forward they could do well, that kind of situation arises. But when you look at it now, the entire space in this yarn and fabric is dull. absolutely dull. I was like, dude, like, why did I even read this? It's like, it's just so, I mean, everybody is literally crying in the call, you know, कि like, अरे कुछ अच्छा नहीं हो रहा है, कुछ अच्छा नहीं हो रहा है. We do not know when the situation will improve. I mean, जो धंधा चला रहे हैं वही बोल रहे हैं. And now you can see people on X के like, oh, margin is, everybody का सिर्फ एक ही आंसर है, margin is improving. But भाई एटलीस्ट पूछ लो कि like margin क्यों improve हो रहा है? Margin improve हो रहा है क्योंकि like आप cost cutting करके कर रहे हो, not because of any other things. ठीक है. And when such meek commentary is there, I don't know, like आप लोगों को घासे ये लोग, you know, ये tailwind मिल रहा है यहाँ पे. The only tailwind is in that B2B space, and we have covered in this B2B space, you know, we have covered all the companies where we could see the potential, right? That is there. But having said that, the other people, same management commentary, literally same. सब लोग एक ही के बारे में बात करते हैं. तो वो cotton price का, you know, it has increased, it is either less, you know, that is one common commentary that we have. The second common commentary is, you know, बांग्लादेश में ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है, our customer का plant is shut down, geopolitical tension, freight costs had been high, as a result, you know, we were not able to supply and everything. That was another. The third one is obviously like, you know, we do not know the demand when it will be all right. So the entire yarn space is like this. So that is why I didn't feel like, it's not that I didn't feel like covering, like, because I have the notes, but it's just a waste of time talking about it in the video, because you get the big picture of what is happening. Now the only nitty-gritty detail is the number part, which is, you know, and the number part is also not interesting, because sabka sab agar aap dekhte ho, sales is either fallen or flat, or it is even down for some people by 30-40%. So you tell me, what is the point of discussing and wasting both mine and your time? Instead of that, I could read about some other company and make a video on that, where, you know, there is actually वहाँ पे tailwinds है, actually management का guidance है, capex है, execution is on top notch. I think that is much better. So that is why I wouldn't cover all the other कितना है 1 2 3 4 7 companies that are there, because like I told you, if you understood Sportking, if you understood that Filatex, you understood what is the problem that is there. It is the same problem there. Only difference is किसी का सेल शायद 5% गिरा है, किसी का सेल शायद 6% गिरा है, किसी और का सेल शायद 50% गिर के वहां पे बैठा है. That is it. Okay. And other than that, like I told you, capex भी कुछ नहीं हो रहा है यहाँ पे. It is, everybody is running at 90% cap. Even if they're doing capex, it is quite wasteful. Okay. So that is the thing. Okay. So that's it about these companies that we are talking about. Yeah, that's that. And and after this I will be covering the B2B space, because that is the interesting part, where, you know, all the tailwinds are actually visible. Okay.